Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, consider becoming a member to the channel if you enjoy the content. Only costs a couple dollars, man. $4, $3.99 a month. I'd appreciate it. Now listen, man. Anthony Joshua just got the word back that Anthony Joshua is returning to the ring. I think around July. And I find that interesting because we all know he's been through a lot. So I wasn't sure what direction he was going to go, but I know there was some deals in place for him. To face Tyson Fury and to just stay active. So I was wondering how that would work out. Because once you sign a deal, sign a contract, unless there's a clause in there or a way for you to kind of, get out of the contract or to rescind the contract, I figured he was going to have to fight. So I just want to say good luck to Anthony Joshua. I hope that his head is cleared for the fight, and I really hope he can be 100%. But why Anthony Joshua returning in July matters, look, fans care a lot. AJ's still one of the last true global heavyweight stars. His fights don't just sell tickets, they drive pay-per-view buys, international media coverage, and Saudi-backed mega events. Now, I keep hearing there's something about $1 billion could be on the table for some kind of deal. But we just have to wait and see if those rumors are true. But boxing right now lacks consistent crossover stars, so when AJ fights, the sport feels big again. And as far as AJ returning, look, I think the money is just way too big to walk away from. Plus, I think there were contracts in place. And once those contracts are already in motion, there's nothing he can do. AJ's reportedly tied to multi-fight deals, Saudi-hosted event agreements, broadcasting obligations. So walking away would mean losing, hundreds of millions, legal consequences, which nobody wants to deal with that bullshit, and damaging long-term earning power. Now, when it comes to this whole thing with AJ, I'm really paying attention to that Saudi influence. We know when Turkey's in the house, every day is Thanksgiving. These guys have put real money into boxing, think billions of dollars into boxing. Trying to own the heavyweight era. They put on amazing fights. But when I watch Anthony Joshua, I do believe people really care about him, man. I 100% believe that. I don't think these are just money-hungry snakes. I don't think that because Saudi, they print their own goddamn money. They ain't worried about the event being successful or flopping. These guys print their own money. So this isn't that, but it's a much broader picture when it comes to Saudi Arabia because they want people to view Saudi as a destination. And having these boxers get out here and perform, it helps to create that kind of perception about Saudi by the international community. So AJ is a cornerstone asset. He's marketable. He speaks English, of course. Olympic gold medalist, former unified champion. So even if AJ wanted to pause, the business machine is already moving. So AJ has to go along with the flow because everything was in process and moving before, the unfortunate accident happened with him and his two friends. But I still understand, and I'm sure his team understand the emotional factor. This man is grieving. But at the same time, he's dealing with pressure. And a lot of people are concerned about his mental state. And I'll tell you one thing. People can say what they want about Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn cares about AJ. Eddie Hearn cares about his daddy's business, but Eddie Hearn cares about AJ. You know what I'm saying? He knows AJ recently lost two close friends. He knows that the grief can affect focus, motivation, confidence, aggression. So Eddie Hearn's not like, oh, this is boom or bust. Nah, Eddie Hearn is like, AJ, are you good? We understand what deals are on the table. We understand the money's there. We understand your obligations. But no one's going to force you back in that ring until you're ready. You know what I'm saying? But some fans are going to say, oh, no, this is boom or bust. Because that's just how boxing fans are. Boxing fans are brutal. Some believe he'll fight with emotion and purpose and come out victorious. Others fear Going to be a lot of distractions. He's mentally fragile, and he's going to be vulnerable under pressure. See, there's no middle ground when it comes to fan opinion. It's either we're going to see the best AJ in years, or it's going to be the worst performance yet because he rushed himself back in the ring due to the pressure of Eddie Hearn, Turkey Al-Sheikh, and these contracts that he already had in place. And he didn't give himself time to really grieve and get his shit together. And I'll say this. What a win can mean for AJ, if in fact he gets in and does the business, if he wins impressively, title shots become inevitable. You know he's going to be fighting for titles again. Massive fights become realistic. The Tyson Fury fight for sure, if Fury can get past Makhmudov. Fighting Usyk a third time, maybe. But I think it's going to be Tyson Fury or Wilder. But everybody has to win. And then he becomes the face of Saudi boxing again and the main attraction. But he's got to win. Now, if he struggles or loses, his mystique fades further. People are going to say, all right, he's beyond his prime, and he's not able to get beyond what he experienced with his two friends passing. And let me tell you, that's tough, man. Like, I don't even know how to describe that because I never experienced it. That's really, really unfortunate, man. I try to think this man got to get in the ring and train and fight. But I'll tell you what, struggles or loses, people are going to see him as a high-paid gatekeeper, name value without dominance. And I don't think that's fair. Even though that may kind of be what it becomes, but that's not fair. Now, Eddie Hearn's role, Eddie Hearn is in a balancing act, for sure. Protecting AJ's brand, trying to keep Saudi happy, deliver big events, avoid dangerous matchmaking. So, Fast Eddie's always got a strategy. All right, this is what we need to do. AJ, take your time. Let me know when you're ready. We got to keep you active. We got to keep you winning. We got to keep you relevant and keep the Saudi relationship strong, even though it sounds like Eddie Hearn and Turkey Al-Sheikh are beefing over Zuffa boxing and all that. But Hearn is managing a fighter. Eddie Hearn is managing a business empire. He's managing a political relationship. And he's managing a fragile public narrative. So Eddie Hearn has a lot of weight on his shoulders. His position as a promoter is not easy. Now, I'll tell you this. I want to see what happens with this Saudi and these promoters and what happens. Because, with Saudi equals high stakes. So I'm going to assume Turkey Al-Sheikh is still going to be involved. But why Saudi's willing to spend billions? Look, they want global legitimacy, cultural influence, sports dominance. AJ is safe as an investment. He's known, he's marketable, he's reliable, and he has a good reputation. So this means for AJ, no small fights, no cheap exits, no casual retirements. Every AJ fight must feel historic, cinematic, and worth the money. Because the Prince of Saudi Arabia is the one who I read was looking to offer AJ some deal worth like a billion or a couple billion. I don't know what all the deal entails, but it's some kind of deal they're looking to offer AJ. And we just have to wait and find out just how true that is. But I'm like, if you got it's the king and the prince. Those are the two mountains behind Turkey Al-Sheikh. But now you got the prince going directly towards AJ saying, hey, this is what I want to give you. Makes me wonder what all comes with that. You know what I mean? What obligations AJ is going to have. What's going to be expected of him. But all I'm going to say is this. We just have to sit back and wait and see how it plays out. But the return feels different. It really does feel different. Doesn't seem to be just about boxing. It's about mental strength, grief. I think business pressure, legacy, Saudi power. That money. And AJ isn't just fighting an opponent. I think he's really fighting time. I think he's fighting doubt, his own past, public opinion, maybe motivation, lack of motivation. I think AJ got a lot on the table. And a lot of it we can't see. It's going on up here. I'll just say with AJ returning, it could be legendary or it could be a disaster. I just hope it ends up being legendary. But We'll find out. Keep cool. I'm in the breeze.